Devin Haney back in March seemingly gets the cosign from BLK Prime. But wait, there's more. Wow. So I made a video about it already. Devin, the Dream Haney. For Devin, I feel like it's been everything but a dream lately. Made a video, though. He said he was returning in March. Now, check that video on the page. Make sure you guys follow me on social media. I got you covered. BOXINGEGO 1, you see the blue check mark. Follow me on the gram for news you can use. Trying to get to 75,000. I can't always make a video straight away. I mean, I'm pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. But in case I'm not able to make a video, you can definitely get the boxing news on my socials. So help us get to our goals in 2025. Much love to all the supporters. So I made the video. Devin Haney said he's returning in March, which this would be a duplicate video if I didn't have this to add. I made this graphic. It says Devin Haney says he will return in March 2025. BLK Prime post a message to BLK Prime. It sounds familiar. So let's take a deeper dive. So this is the standard stuff that I said in the last video. But I like to show you guys. A lot of content creators, they just talk about something and you never get to see the proof. Oh, this fight's done, and you never get to see receipts. I like to show you the receipts. March, I'm back. Devin posted this D'Angelo. How does it feel? Shirtless picture, you know, after a workout. Pause. And again, he says, March, I'm back. Pretty standard that I covered in the last video. But this is the part. Boom. That same post saying that he was coming back. Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. BLK Prime Boxing, a new era of boxing has begun. They decided to post it, and it says, see you March 2025 on BLK Prime. So I'm not the smartest brother in the world, but this looks like a sure shot cosign, and it looks like Devin's next fight is going to be partnered with BLK Prime. This is how I'm interpreting. Once again, it says, so Devin said, I'm coming back in March on his verified page. BLK Prime reposted that. And it says, see you March 25, as in 2025, on BLK Prime. They later deleted this. So I don't know if the news was supposed to break, or I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of posts. Boxing is weird. There's a lot of post and delete action in the world of boxing, which I find bizarre. I don't delete. I've been on YouTube. I've been online getting to the guacamole, and I don't delete videos. I don't understand this whole post-delete business. This is weird to me, you know. And this is some AI I seen, which is insane. They got Ryan in from behind. Pause. That's a big pause. And Devin Haney. So somebody said the last pick has me so weak. Yeah, go ahead and fight in March because come April 20th, Ryan is coming for you. Oh, wow. Dang, he on BLK. Oh, I just posted this, and then, you know, people were commenting. So, yeah, make sure you follow the conversation over there on my Instagram. So, listen. Again, if you interpret it slightly different, let me know. But I think this is pretty self-explanatory. Devin says I'm back in March, and for some reason, BLK Prime is back in the business. And I believe their founders are from the Bay Area. Devin's dad is from the Bay Area, you know, so maybe he's doing business with them. Now, the reason this makes sense to me is because I told you, post Ryan Garcia fight, Devin was in between a rock and a hard place. Partly because of the fight, partly because of what's happened after the fight. Some of that is Team Haney. Like, certain things weren't becoming of the brand. Lawsuits. The decision to sue Ryan Garcia, not just sue, because I'm not against a lawsuit, right? Lawsuits, they're part of the American way in situations. See, the Haneyacks, they want to play games and play dumb. I'm not really with that. Nobody is against lawsuits. Like, if you were a wedding photographer and they owe you $5,500 plus expenses and blah, 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 and you didn't get your bread, you might sue that person or celebrity or whatever that hired you because they contracted you, you did the work, you gave them the photos, and they ain't give you the rest of your bread or all your bread. That makes sense. With Devin suing Ryan specifically, and see, it's sad because this is what the Haneyacks do. They want to play semantics and games and act like they don't understand. You know, it's like the people in the movie where, you know, a cop pull them over and they act like they don't speak English because they know the cop, you know, they might get arrested for DUI. So they like, oh, me no speak English. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. That's how the Haneyacks act. When I'm making these points with sound logic, I know I speak eloquently to the point where if you understand English, you understand what I'm saying, right? Not speaking some ancient dialect that nobody knows. They want to play games like they don't understand, like it doesn't make sense. Again, no one has a problem with a lawsuit. Like somebody, if you worked at McDonald's and they didn't pay you overtime and you sue them, okay, it makes sense. The thing that's weird in this case is Devin suing a fighter. You're both pro fighter. You're not a civilian. You both are trained in the martial art of boxing, and you're suing for battery. That just, it looked crazy. Unjust enrichment. It looks pretty crazy. Like, hey, it literally says in the lawsuit, non-consensual touching, which sounds insane, as if Ryan raped you or something. You know what I mean? It sounds weird. So that's it. So Devin, his brand has been mudsliding. It's been an avalanche, and not in a good way. And then now we find out that he might be on BLK Prime. I think that's a sign of the times. Like Prince said, sign of the times. It shows where his brand is. It shows that Boxing Ego is the best in the business, and it's not even close. The stuff I said add up. The stuff the Haneyacks were talking about doesn't add up. BLK Prime, I mean, let's look at it. You were fighting on ESPN pay-per-view with Lomachenko. You fought on dazn and dazn pay-per-view with Regis Prograis. And then randomly, we've never seen you on BLK Prime, and now you fighting on BBL Prime. And to be honest, I ain't even really heard nothing from BLT Prime in like a year plus. The last time they had some buzz from me, who covers boxing every day, was Terrence Crawford. And then shortly after that, they said that Adrian Broner signed, but he didn't even complete a fight with them and signed to Don King and actually had a fight with Blair Cobbs. So BLK Prime has really just been out the mix. Like, nobody is really heard of them. I didn't even know they were in the business still. You know, I just don't hear really nothing about them. When's their last event? You guys, without looking it up, somebody, if I'm lying, I'm flying. Let me know their last show, their actual last show that they had, and who it was, and tell me about the card, and did you watch it? Because I know for sure I didn't. So everything I said was true. The Haneys continue to put the nail in the coffin. Now they're going on a pretty much an unproven app that hasn't received a lot of buzz. Meanwhile, you had the Haneys who were trying to chase Tank. You're the furthest from Tank that you've ever been. You know what I mean? You were doing well, Undisputed. You were doing well, Regis Prograis. But now if you're on BLK Prime, if this is true and this holds up, yeah, you're the furthest you've ever been, because Tank, he could fight anybody, And he might even this is just a real situation. Tank could beat his record with Rolly, which is a Barclay attendance record and live gate record that Ryan and Devin Haney couldn't beat. So Tank fighting Lamont Roach in the same building, he might be able to beat all those fights, Rolly and Haney, Garcia. So imagine Devin, Bill Haney telling you that the Ryan Garcia fight was huge, and Haney at Content Creators saying it's going to sell out, and Haney Garcia is a huge, immense fight. They don't even break Tank's old record with Rolly for that happened a couple years ago. And then now Tank has the opportunity to outsell all those fights with another guy who's not a big household name, but a good fighter in Lamont Roach. So, yeah, that's looking bad because Tank, again, he could be put on pay-per-view. I don't know the parameters. We have to wait and see. But I wish they would. Devin's going to have a real good opponent on BLK Prime for them to put it on pay-per-view. That's my honest opinion. And again, being 100% transparent, I don't know really anybody that has that app and uses it, even in boxing. I really, truly don't. So it's a sign of the times of where Devin's career is. BLK Prime, before you said it's the Haney era. This is your era, and it's no longer the Mayweather era, no longer the Tank era. These are the things that Team Haney were saying. But then you fight on BLK Prime, which is usually, it's kind of like Koch Records or something. Maybe even worse than Koch Records, because Koch Records at least had Dipset later in their career and Camera Killer, Dipset, Jones, All Day Freaky. I don't even know what to compare it to, but it's like almost like a child actor in the 80s that are in all the big movies, and then in the late 90s and 2000s, they washed up, and all the movies they're doing are like direct to DVD, direct to video, direct to streaming. You know what I mean? So this is, to me, a backward step. I don't know how you guys feel, but for me, it's a backward step. And it's an excuse for the Haneys because they say, oh, we're our own bosses. And I also told you guys this. Y'all didn't want to listen to me. Y'all think I just be talking and bumping gums. But Haney's taking shots and burning bridges and souring relationships with promoters, not a good thing. Top Rank, they won your purse bid. You spit in their face by not taking the Sandor Martin fight, your mandatory, which you knew was your mandatory. Eddie Hearn, you call Eddie Hearn a snake. You basically said he's the fakest ninja you ever met over some heavyweight Joshua Dubois tickets, right? So you said Eddie, he been tripping and been saying stuff about me, so it appears to be some friction there. Why would Eddie Hearn be looking out for you when you're not tethered to Rematch Room, you're not his fighter, and you're talking trash about him publicly when you have his phone number, and that's how you choose to handle it, like a child? I don't respect nobody that has the person's number, has an issue, and then they make it public before they try to reach out to that person, on a one-on-one basis. I don't respect that. I think that's the wrong approach. This new social media got it twisted where people will have your number and they don't agree with something you said or did or whatever, and then they start dissing you publicly. I've never done that. I've never done that because I don't believe in that. If I really have an issue with it, you're going to know if I have an issue with you. Put it that way. Back to Devin. I mean, you guys tell me what you think, but BLK Prime, I don't know. I ain't heard nothing from him. I haven't really, even when Crawford fought David Avocado, numbers never came out. I don't remember no shoulder programming really. There's no good promotion. Devin's going to have to pick a really good name. And I know the Haniacs, they're going to come up with all these excuses and, oh man, it's just one fight. Terrence Crawford did one fight over there. Terrence Crawford also didn't get whooped. There's that. You know what I mean? Like Terrence Crawford, I don't care what Crawford did because Crawford is a legend and Crawford never got whooped like that in his whole career, let alone he did. Like it'd be one thing if Crawford got whooped up and then went to BLK Prime. He had negotiations with Errol Spence. He was probably being a little bit, stubborn, couldn't get what he wanted, which actually worked out for him in the end. But the long story shorter is Errol Spence negotiations didn't work out. So he did a deal and got some free money on a guy he would brutally knock out that had no chance. So he just made some millions and that was it. And then he got the Errol Spence fight. But to think that Devin's in the same position, it's not the same. Yeah, he's undefeated through a technicality. People seen the last fight. They're not viewing you as a true undefeated fighter. You are undefeated. Your BoxRec shows you're undefeated, but your legacy and aura has suffered. So people aren't looking at it as you're undefeated, although you technically are, right? It's like if Nino Brown, he gets acquitted because they use an illegal wiretap, you don't look at him as a clean civilian and citizen. He's still a drug dealer. You know he's a drug dealer, but based on the technicality of how the police try to use evidence that was illegal and how they obtained it, his case got dropped and he became a free man. But you're not going to look at Nino Brown and be like, oh, he's a good citizen. You're going to be like, oh, he's a drug dealer that got off on a technicality. It's that simple. So that's where Devin's at. You won, or it's like the fight didn't happen, but we seen the fight happen. You're undefeated, but we seen what happened. So, no one that I know is really looking at it as, oh man, he's just this undefeated fighter. So I'll wait for more information from BLK Prime or the Haneys. As far as the opponent, I have no idea who's going to be. I think they turned down some acceptable options, more than acceptable. That's not even a good word, but options that made sense. So we'll see what they have in store in March. Who do you want to see him fight?